Okay, so welcome back to the game called 60 Seconds. This one we're doing a full game mode. Let's get right into it. Here we go. Okay, let's grab this, cards, book, that. We need all kinds of food and water. From your wife. Your Timmy. Shutters board. Let's go in this room. Oh yeah, there's bug spray, all kinds of water. Come on. Your daughter. I don't got time. That's all I did. Honestly, that is not a bad run at all. I'll take that. I'm happy with that. I'll take that. Day one. We'll see. Everybody made it in safe and sound, so that's great. All of us made it into the shelter just a second before the blast. It was a close one. As long as we're all here together, we can make it work down here. We remember hearing canned soup is healthy for you. We can remember bringing those supplies down to the shelter, but we're not complaining. We probably should have stocked it better anyway. Our shelves are full of cans. We eat from cans. We sleep on cans. We talk to the cans. Some of us already do. Plenty of water means we don't have to worry about that for some time. This time the blast is better stocked shelter we've ever, this is the best stocked shelter we've ever seen. Never seen another one like it, but we're sure it's a good amount of supplies. Alright, everybody's good for day one. We can just skip on ahead. Play a game, they said. It would be fun, they said. Never mentioned picking one. It would be so much trouble. Everybody's doing so good. We played hide and seek, and the longest round we were able to play lasted for around 10 seconds. And that was only because the light went out for a moment. This morning has been calm enough for Ted. He's doing well. Mary Jane doesn't seem to be troubled today. Not sure dare. Everybody seems to be doing alright. Everybody's good. Not too bad. Let's wait off on having an expedition. The boredom and silence were overwhelming. Too bad we didn't have a TV to keep us occupied. And maybe we could take advantage of some of our supplies, pretend they're props in a movie set. Don't got nothing. So we'll just skip right along. Up to day 3. Doing good. Ted and Mary Jane seem to let down. But we have more important things than playing theater right now. Ted needs water to survive. Mary Jane needs something to drink. Rest has something to drink sometimes. Too many for his apple juice, but right now we should give him some water. Well, I get y'all are thirsty, but I still think you'll be fine. Let's not plan another expedition, but we found some weird mushrooms that are growing on the walls. Food shortage, no laughing matter. So maybe it would be a good idea to grab a mushroom bite or two. It would absolutely not. Let's not do that. Does not sound like a good idea. We may be hungry, but there are just some things we never eat. Wall fungus is one of them. Ted looks like he got one foot in the grave. He needs something to drink. Okay, so everybody can get a drink. I think everybody's suffering from dehydration. Yep, everybody can get a drink. Let's not plan a wasteland or a expedition just yet. We stumbled onto the word signal when changing radio frequencies. We're pretty sure lyrics, statics, and screams. We could hear a voice speaking in a foreign language. Oh dear. If it's Soviets. We should probably listen to it. But what about the children? Sure, why not? We were relieved at first when we figured out it wasn't the Soviets we heard. Turned out it was the Canadians, which isn't that much better. Either they're foreigners or couldn't understand what they were saying. Not a word. How disappointing. Nobody's thirsty anymore. Everybody's doing pretty good. Why not plan one for tomorrow? Actually, let's wait just a tad longer. It's become more and more difficult to breathe. In the shelter over the last couple of hours, we suggest there's something wrong with the ventilation. Maybe it just got stuck somehow. I guess we might suffocate. Bug spray or scout handbook. So the bug spray might cause more ventilation problems, but scout handbook might be able to look up? I don't know. We'll see what that does. Probably doesn't do much, but we'll see. Oh jeez, Ted's sick. Using handbook to research vent maintenance seemed like a pretty fair idea. We figured it was full of pointers on how to fix things. It must have a chapter on nuclear shelter air filtration systems. Before we could even check, we were invaded by a group of angry mutant insects with a few that flew out that cursed vent. Their stings hurt like hell and seemed to give us a fever. Ted is hungry. Ted got sick. It's impressive how Mary Jane is handling the situation. She looks fine today. That's hard. Okay, so everybody but Ted seems to be doing alright. Ted, you're failing us all, dude. Let's plan for an expedition tomorrow. Timmy's not doing great. Yeah. Go for it. Talk to him. Why not brighten his day? Just a little bit. Brighten his day up just a little. Ted, you're gonna have to stay sick for some time. Even a word or two might be enough to brighten somebody's mood. Timmy seems to be doing better now. That's great. Okay, let's wait for now, but let's send Timmy outside with a gas mask. Bye, Timmy. Timmy went out into the wasteland. We don't know what he'll do if he doesn't come back. Ted hasn't recovered from his sickness. Ted looks like he's got... Yeah, okay. The dehydration, starvations will feed you. Dehydration will give you drinks. Give you drinks. Group of doctors knocked on our door today requesting some supplies that would be helpful for refilling their first aid kits. We don't doubt they were a right deal for a second. They didn't have lab coats and everything. Shall we help them? Why freaking not? We got enough water bottles, right? How much we got? Oh yeah, that'll be fine. It'll be fine. We can spare it in a bottle. Who knows, maybe they'll help us later on. A bottle of revealing clean water, as closest we'll ever get to hydrogen peroxide. I guess we're grateful anyway. Something should be done about Ted's sick. Yeah, I know, but I don't have a first aid kit to heal him up. I'll give you some food. That's about it. Our hideout was approached by a man. We didn't know he claimed to be an accountant. We're survivors as a trader. A gambler. He offered us a card game for a bet of 2 water. Shall we play? Is it worth the risk? We have 5 water bottles here. Yeah, why not? I think we won by the looks of it. Yep, we won. Haha! Lady Lucky smiled on us. We won a victorious game of war. This man wasn't too happy about it, but he delivered on his promise. Ted's still sick. He's getting hungry. Or just want something to eat. So that's good. We can keep sitting on our back sides here in this tiny little bunker, or we can start thinking of getting away as far as possible from this radioactive wasteland. Who would have thought the Reds were ruined? Such a lovely neighbor. We could do our own. We could escape running apart. Of course! However, there might be someone out there who can help us. Let's keep our eyes and ears open. Listen to the radio. Hello? Good news! The government made a radio podcast about extracting survivors from our area. The announcer asked everybody listening to wait a while longer for further communications. In a few days. We'll be out here soon. Okay. So Ted's been sick for a really long time, but let's hold off on some stuff. Unless they're like absolutely starving. Or dehydration. I don't think it's smart to necessarily fill them. We want to last as long as possible. So we had a thought on our phone calls were a thing of the past after the atomic bomb obliterated everything in our little town. However, a phone booth on the street survived bombing somehow. Seemed I was ringing just right now. So send somebody to answer it? Ted, you're already sick. Why don't you go? I don't want to risk anybody else getting sick. We answered the phone. We could clearly hear a gasp of relief from the caller. They introduced themselves as survivors from a nearby town of Hill Valley. We started exchanging information when the call was cut short. Something must have gotten wrong on their side. We hope they'll get back to us. Okay, so people seem to be not doing okay, I guess. He's dehydrated. You're dehydrated. And you're both, so it's time we start worrying about what's going on and start asking questions, or at least listening to some reasonable answers. So how about tuning into the radio station and learning a thing or two about the brave new world? Why not? Let's see. We were able to get a weak signal and tap into the government's emergency announcement service. And guess what? Great news! The fallout outside is mostly gone. It should be much safer to travel on the surface. We were so afraid of her Timmy, but it came back from the wasteland safe and now with us. When a man desperate enough, any place is good to look through and get food and water. Our expedition was coming home was nothing to show for all the searching, but they stumbled across full of trash in our neighborhood. One man's trash is another man's treasure. One of the pre-blast neighbors threw out a few unopened cans of soup. Ha! Those jokes are on him. If he has a shelter right now, he'll probably be full of regrets. With a lawn like that, who wouldn't be? Why would people throw out water? Who cares? Finders keepers. Yeah. Ted's hungry. North's hungry, Mary Jane's hungry, and Timmy is just tired. Should I send Ted out without anything? See if he lasts? If there's one sure thing to get our attention, it's definitely banging on our shelter door. Whoever it is, they're quite persistent. They've been at it for the past 5 minutes. Should we open it? No. The banging stopped after a while. Whoever it was behind the door, they left. We had no idea who it was. Will we ever find out? Who knows? Ted's still hungry. Doris is very hungry. Hungry. And hungry. Ted, you go. With nothing. Hope you come back, though. We were discussing plans for our first meal that didn't feature tomato soup when we heard yells outside. We discovered they came from a small group of ragged survivors. They were a sorry sight and weren't surprised when they requested aid, asking us to provide anything they could, water, food, or medical supplies. You can have water. I don't mind sharing. Maybe all this helping will come back to help us later on. Who knows? Our visitors had problems finding enough words and express their gratitude. Many tears were shed, smiles and hugs exchanged, and they wished us all the best. It's a great feeling helping somebody out. They left soon after seeking shelter in the ruins of our town. We helped them make it out of there. Doris is thirsty. Mary Jane's thirsty. Ted's doing alright. Time to listen to what the radio chatter. Maybe we'll pick up some useful shred of information on how to get out of this mess. Listen to the radio. Just a little bit. A17. Ah, dang it. Something blew up inside the radio and wrecked. The thing caught on fire. We were able to put it out, but it didn't work anyway. Or anymore. Dang it. I lost the radio. Hungry. Starving. Hungry. Let's see, we never thought we'd live to see a dancing cockroaches, but we still haven't. We saw one thing that was nearly as big as a cat. The good news is we probably scared it off. Any rats in the area. The bad news is they're huge and will probably attack us when they get the chance. Hit it with a book. It's my solution. Either hit it with a book or hit it with a shoe. We dodged a bullet this time. This was... Or that is, if a bullet was huge, hairy, 8-leg. Ah, it was a spider. Ugh. Going ahead, hopefully we had to deal with them again. Or we won't have to deal with them again. Gross. Let's see. The last thing we expected to hear was sitting in a fallout shelter was a trumpet. It was played by someone who's clearly not a trumpet player. Had probably never heard of a trumpet player in his entire life. He came with a friend who knocked on the door and demanded that we let the merry men enter, so they could take from the rich, give to the poor. Shall we let them in? We're pretty rich, so probably not. We're pretty stacked on food and water, so probably not a great idea. They'll probably end up taking from us. So. We didn't answer those particular calls and kept the door locked until the noises outside faded away. We're not exactly sure we want those people to come back. They sound harmless enough, but can harmless people be trusted in troubled times? They might be worse than those who don't seem harmless at all. Perhaps. We'll feed you and give you a drink. Let's see, a stranger pushing a rusty wheelbarrow fared with all kinds of stop by today. He claimed he was a trader looking for... Okay, so he wants to trade water for items. I'm gonna say no. No, thank you. Everybody's still doing pretty good. Refused to trade. Hopefully you made the right choice, but the trader was not too happy about this. Yeah, well, I can see why he thinks that, but it's probably the good option. We'll save our resources. Doris and Timmy both love to read. They also both craving some fun and challenge that doesn't include radioactive agony or being eaten by a mutant raccoon, so they decide to hold a competition who could read the scrapbook faster. Insane. Should we let them? Sure. It seems... I'm shy I've not done that. Oh dear, they basically tore the book apart, and that was impossible to say who won. Both Doris and Timmy seemed really content, though. Maybe one book is a smaller price to pay for their temporary happiness. Yeah, perhaps. Because they need to say relatively okay as well. When we opened the shelter door today, we saw a letter lying on the ground. It was a cry for help from the ground. We have a group of friendly survivors nearby, or at least who claim to be. They're asking us to bring some supplies over to the location, and they're giving us their word, they'll not regret our generosity. Should we do it? We don't have enough soup cans, or food, I should really say, so I'm gonna say no. Not today. We don't, we know there's other people in need, but we feel bad for them, but we cannot spare the supplies right now. This will just have to wait. Ted's been outside for way too long. Well, definitely lost one. Let's send Timmy out tomorrow. Sometimes the sudden urge to play instrument takes over us, to create beautiful sounds that shared with the world around us, to sing, to play, to have a cute, muted animals come in to our feet, listen at a post-apocalyptic Snow White, shall we? Why would we willingly let mutated insects or animals or creatures in our bunker? It makes no sense. The sudden urge to play passed as as fast as it came. We don't really feel like it anymore. We want to do something else now. Let's all sit in complete silence and spend several days until another great idea strikes. Mary Jane's quite hungry. Yep. Okay, well, we can feed her. She bowls. Timmy, you go with gas mask. We'll see ya. Timmy went out into the wasteland. We don't know when he'll be come back. Noted. Give you a drink. And give you a drink. They're offering a lot of supplies, but I don't know, I don't think it's necessary for us right now. I think we're doing okay. That salesman was very friendly. He didn't have anything that was in interest in us. To us. Yeah. I noticed. She can eat, though. And emptying our bucket in front of the shelter, we discovered a hasty drawn map on the ruined walls. Somebody drew out the wrapped in the marked spot at the end of it. Maybe there are supplies hidden there. Should we check it out? Mary Jane, you go check it out. See what happens. Luckily, we found it. We were afraid the map was trapped, leading us straight into a cave full of bandits, but it turns out it was to be true. At the end of the path, we found some supplies that might be helpful to us. We got a gun. Nice. Everybody else seems to be doing good, though. The last time we went on an expedition, we noticed some abandoned tanks that are standing out in the open. Looks damaged, but may be contained as some useful supplies. Mary Jane, you go again. See what happens. Looks like army rations also consist mostly of canned soup and bottled water, unless somebody else left these supplies in their wrecked tank. See? It's worth it. You can eat. Yesterday during charades, we learned that Mary Jane doesn't know how to spell that. And to establish an I don't know. And it left Doris sorely disappointed. She insists to go home rather than shelter. She's schooling Mary Jane a little. Stay here, Mary Jane. What's wrong with you? You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Mary Jane made a real scene, complaining that Doris would never be happy if both of her children became president, won Nobel Peace Prize, and simultaneously both became the first people on the moon. Oh yeah, well, I'm guessing this game was like based off of, I don't know, pre that time. Sleazy looking trader carrying an equally scruffled bag on his shoulder paid us a visit. He had offered a simple one-time deal just for 1 can of soup. We could get the bag and all of its contents. We can't see what's inside, and the trader gives us angry glances every time we take a step towards the mysterious bag. Should we make the deal? Nope. We should not. Grandparents always told us to never buy anything that was anything sight unseen. We're not about to start it now. Gone are the times of yard sales where we can manage without whatever junk that is in a mysterious bag. Yeah, fair enough. Today was the first visit by a stranger. Looking at the little man, introduced himself. Excuse me. As a trader. He insisted in his prices are low, that he is practicing like cutting his own throat. At least we could do is take a look at his offer. Although some reason we don't really trust him. No thanks. I couldn't even if I wanted to anyway. Didn't have the supplies. But that is day 30 and I am out of time. So, without further ado, if you liked the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Bye-bye.